We got a different budget radio on deck. Today, we're going to check out the Quansheng portable multi-band transceiver dual bander for amateur radio. Hey there, and welcome to the channel known as Nuka Vault Readiness, where we are hoping to give you some reviews and tips, tricks, and preps in the case of when our possible electric grid down happens, so that you could set up your own mini infrastructure at home. So today we are looking at Quansheng amateur radio. So this is another budget brand that I've been reading about. I've heard of this one for a while, but I mostly have stuck with the Baofengs. So wanted to give it a try. So we're going to unbox this today, kind of see what comes in it. We'll turn it on and we'll do a power test. I believe it's a 5-watt rated radio. So we'll do that and see how it goes. Let's see what this little guy has to offer. Okay, so box disassembled, you could see that we get, starting off with the earpiece with your standard 2-pin connection Kenwood there. This is a USB-A to USB-C male end cord for charging. I do believe this radio is USB-C rechargeable, so that's cool. Even though up there you do see it comes with its traditional cradle, and the USB plugs already put in there, mounted in, which is nice. Some of the more budget Baofeng's UV-5Rs, I believe the one that's 8F, I believe FHP. I have one of those. It's been a while since I've taken it out. Those all come with the plug that you have to plug into the cradle and then plug it into the wall. So they're AC plugs, but this one comes with just a USB-A end on it, because I first missed this in the box, but it comes with its own AC brick, which is kind of cool. So I guess this could be powered on a laptop. I'm not sure. I have no idea if the phantom power from a charging port would be enough. And apologize about the back noise there if you hear it. Got some things going on in the house. So yeah, it's different. Cool concept though. So I'm curious if that would really work off of phantom power, maybe a power brick or a solar panel, like my LumaPal 60-watt panel. You can go check that review out up here if you want, because it may charge off of that. I'm not sure, so definitely will be a field test. Comes with its own rubber duck, which I have to tell you, just from experience of buying and testing out a bunch of budget radios, that is a thick base, and I do mean THICC kind of thick. It's pretty sturdy. It's definitely not very flexible. It gives some bend, but I'm not sure what's in this, because if I pull out the UV-5R, even though it's thicker and 10 all the way, that base, again, that's a pretty thick, bulky base there. So I'm not sure. I believe it is rated for, let me see here. We'll have to do it a bit off camera here, but let me see. It, of course, is dual bander, FM, yep, 136 through 174 megahertz, and then your 70 centimeters, 400 to looks like 80. So wide range. I do believe this radio will do AM, the 108 to 136, which I think is air bands on AM. So always the stylish wrist strap. You cannot forget this. This is pretty much par for the course now, but you get that stylish thing, so you can put it on, however you want to model it. And then, of course, we have the transceiver. Now, I already put the battery in here, but I'll pop it out for y'all. So this is really easy. It's just a quick... I say that because I did it once already, but now that I got the clip on here, it actually seems a bit harder to pull off. And that may be what I'm doing wrong. I'm not sure. There we go. Push the button in and pull it like upwards at the same time. So yeah, this is the Quansheng UV-5K. I believe this is the equivalent to a Baofeng UV-5R. There's a Reddit post I was reading about this, how the Quansheng has something to do with, I believe you can have a firmware update on this, which may quote unquote open up the radio a bit more. I believe there's also custom firmware that people out there have used that you can, again, open it up. It's not going to transmit outside its set dual bands, but it can receive more. I'll put that Reddit post that I found down in the description if you want to check that out. And the battery is a standard 7.2 volt. This is only a 1600 milliamp hour, so it's a relatively small battery. Baofeng's I've gotten is, I think standard is 1800, and then you can get the new 2200 or 2400 milliamp hour battery. So this doesn't have quite as much battery juice to it. And assembling this too, I've noticed that this does not have the pesky screws for the clip, which is kind of cool. It just actually slides. Not even sure now if I'm going to be able to get it back out. But it can. It just slides in. Maybe you could see that right there. Sorry about that. Right there. You just take the clip and put it in. And it's locked in. Clip is made of plastic. The battery's not super big, so it's not heavy. This feels like a thicker plastic overall. Transceiver, it's plastic. The part with the microphone's right here. So the audio output area, it just, again, the whole body is just plastic. This is really, really lightweight, and as you can see in my hand, without the battery on it, it's pretty much the width of my hand. It seems smaller, and bringing back the standard UV-5R here, about the same size. You can see if we took this screen and made it more square, it may be about the same size. Screen may be a bit bigger. Not sure. So, put this back in. Clips in easily. Oh, and of course it does come with its user's manual. And I have to tell you, gone through several of these. This one's just a little bit harder on my eyes. Maybe I'm getting a bit older and it's hard to read. The print's really small, as you can see. And I think it just has to do with the spacing, because it really overloads. It overloads my eyes when I go through and try to read all these cool little, like the tips / tricks, operation things in here. But overall, it's your standard manual. And again, reminds me of the UV-5R manual. Anyway, okay, so I did charge it ahead of time, so we should be at full. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to put the antenna on just for sake of simplicity here. But we will go ahead and do a power test on this as well, just to kind of see how this runs. So let's turn it on.
Welcome, channel mode 4.
Okay. The usual robotic female voice. If you can hear it, I'm going to turn it up. So let's see.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And all the programs in here are like in the 144 and the 145 megahertz range. So still 2 meters, but it's way down there on 2 meters. Nothing close to where I am here in the southern part in U.S. So nothing close to what I have around here. But anyway,
4, 5,
let's see, 145.525. So that's close to the national calling frequency. So let me see if I can put it on VFO mode.
3.
Nope, that is now
0.
All right. Let's see here.
3 and 3.
That's not it. All right. Give me 1 second here and we will put it into VFO mode. Okay, so this one is one of those radios where they have like a second button to be switching it over to from memory mode to VFO mode. So we're going to do that now. So let's see. It's F, or I assume function. Looks like a lock key as well.
Frequency mode.
Okay, easy enough. There you go. And of course she lets me know. So that works. So we'll set the first one to 146.520.
6, 5, 2, 9.
Well, I messed that up.
6, 5, 2, 0.
There we go. 146.50. we'll go ahead and just do 2 meter and 70 centimeter natural frequency, just to do the power test. Again, we're not going to be taking it out in the field today. Been having a lot of bad weather here, so taking the boy out to do some field testing will happen at a later time. Okay, so out of the box, it is not very friendly just to switch between A and B. I even went back to the manual, and it's kind of difficult to find how to get from line 1 to line 2. So we're going to switch between 2 meter and 70 centimeter just on one frequency. Again, this is for the purpose of checking the power meter. It's supposed to be a 5-watt radio. So we've got our SureCom SW33 Plus hooked up. Let's turn it on. And that's SWR. So we'll just get to the forward power there. I'm sure y'all can see that. And it should be, it looks like it is on high. There's a little H there. So we're going to go ahead and just push talk. Let's see what we get on 2 meters. We get 4.46. 4.4, okay, 4.46 is what it's kind of holding at. You see it started off like at 4.5 watts. Okay, so that's on high. And just for curiosity's sake, we're going to go ahead and go to low power. Menu, by the way, is just this big M. And as you can see, this layout's a little different than a Baofeng. You've got your, what probably option it is over here. Wow, that timeout was quick.
Menu.
The menu is here, and then what it's set at. So there's step, and then we got a, there we go. Transmission on high.
Power. Confirm.
Okay, then exits right here.
Cancel.
Okay, now we're going to do low power on 2 meters. Low power is still 2.75 watts on low. Okay, cool.
4, 6, 0, 0, 0.
Okay, now I've switched over and we are at 446 dot, not. So we're at the 70 centimeter natural calling frequency. And we're back on high power. So 70 centimeters. Yeah, we're looking at 3.5658 on high power. So we'll switch it down.
Menu. Power. Confirm. Cancel.
Now 70 centimeters on low power. We're sitting at just north of 2 watts going out. Okay, so it's pretty typical for your 5-watt radio. Even 70 centimeters is, I don't want to say that's high, but even for low power, it's over 2 watts. I have I believe it's a Yaesu that when you go to low power, you're barely pushing a watt. And that's one of the older Yaesus anyway. So 2 watts, not bad. As you see, it doesn't go over 5 watts on high, even when we're down to on the 2 meter band. So there's our test. All right, one of the other functions that I have not, of course, tested out yet with this is that it has that, I believe it's called the one touch or the one key copy. If I understand it correctly, you can either use, I assume, an identical, Quansheng or some other 2 meter radio, or maybe a Baofeng. I, again, need to test this out, even with the UV-5R over there. Maybe it'll work with that. It's one of those one touch, one whatever cloning capabilities for the frequencies. So it says. Need to do it in person, test it out. As of, I believe like last year, they said that this was not reading on chirp, and updated articles do say it is compatible with chirp now. Otherwise, this looks like it would be a pretty straightforward to program it, but I'm going to say that, and yet A and B switching is not easy on this thing. So that's some more stuff to test out, and then field testing a little bit later on. Well, guys, there you have it. Another budget radio that will help you get into the amateur radio hobby. It's straight out of the box. Not uber impressed with it. Again, it's kind of looks like its cousin here. Again, it is a Chinese-made radio, but these are in fact two different companies. I used to think they were just a sister company of each other or made in the same place, but they are different companies. There's also another Reddit post I'll put below that a lot of people have said that this build, just because of the quote open firmware stuff, that this is actually a little bit better, a little beefier, and a little more capability than your good old UV-5R. I haven't tested that, so I'm just kind of passing on the messages of what I've read between the two. So, well, guys, there you go. Let's remember, always be getting ready, and I'll catch you around next time.